Now, Rajan, when we spoke, you were saying how you had certain disciplines, how initially you only wanted to work with charcoal, and that you only did that for about 3 years. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that focused way you work?
After a while, working towards many directions from one center, one point, I discovered I was very eclectic. Then I had to discipline myself, So I always thought for a period of time I would work towards some direction, but still from the same center. Center is the same, so I can always come back. So I work like a filmmaker, you can say. Like if you look at Tarkovsky's 5 films, they deal with a different subject, but the undercurrent, the milieu is the same. So I always work like that. From one center, I just branch out to different directions and always come back. So
And then you were saying that you were finally quite thirsty to start painting and for color to come into your work after a point.
Yeah. Usually I draw my paintings, It's like making a drawing instead of painting it exactly the way you have been taught to paint. Because I had initial problem, because whenever you draw something, you're very spontaneous, you don't become too logical about it, you make errors and you correct them in the drawing. But once you come to paint, then you are becoming too logical. And at times I found I was led with intuition than logic, So I started painting like the way I draw in a piece of paper.
And do you think, your initial forays into cartooning, into typeface, into design, do you think they influence your current work in any way or not really?
Yeah, they have influenced my compositions, in the way I compose things in a given piece of canvas or paper, and also color in the orientation of color. They have helped a lot.
I think we should come back.
Okay. So thank you so much for having me.
We'll stop with Rajan for the moment. Presentations. Please feel free to pick up the threads and talk to him, and we can have a full discussion then. Unless there's something anybody wants to ask instantly, if there's something that the work is triggered and you want to ask straight away, please feel. This is not a formal presentation. This is a dialogue. So if there's something you want to ask straight away about a work that you've seen, that you want to ask, please go ahead.
Do you use any photographic reference at all, or fully from memory?
Fully from memory. Earlier for the drawings, because I did those drawings after a break of 3-4 years, so I had to come back to my work. So initially I used some reference, but in the drawings too, I always changed the background. I used them as model, not copying the exact models, even the printed area.
Those films, Rajan, that you made, the inspiration, we didn't get to see the detail, but you had also made little sort of mini sculptures which made at the hill.
Yeah, you can see a version of that outside this hall. So I made, that particular work was tribute to a practice which is extinct at the moment. So the practice meant to undo errors. Also, people used to do that, to save them from predators. This was open to mountain, so not to save them from predators, not to bring prosperity. So I was recollecting that process when we go through error habits. So I found the practice was very important because we're going to pray in front of the mountain. Probably that gesture mattered a lot. So I found it was meaningful in a time of great crisis.
Shall we now go on to our next artist, Mithu Sen? Mithu's been in the news for all the right reasons recently as the winner of the inaugural Skoda Prize. She's, as an artist, it's been a journey from, in geographical terms, from Shantiniketan to New Delhi. And in terms of her work, she's worked with issues of identity and sexuality in a very intimate way, in a way that's very personal to her. And so I've asked Mithu to introduce and to talk to us about some of these themes through her slides. And again, we'll let her present, and at the end of it, we can ask her questions.
Good morning. So it's hard to start something like, I feel like, I'm in front of a white canvas, a service, and I don't know where to start. So I'm a very bad speaker, so I'll just go through my work and... Can you read anything? I thought maybe, I always search for kind of a language I could communicate, and I'm always, kind of failed succeeding that point. So I think my main intention to create a language and so that I can reach, except my mother tongue, I think I'm really so bad, and I couldn't afford to stay in my native land, so I started traveling, and my struggle to communicate with each and every part of the world, became one unique language. And but at the end, I found that it's not the language, whether it's a mother tongue or my Bengali thing, or try to adopt the language, the colonial language, English, or if I'm in Japan or if I'm in Brazil, or so I was never been succeed, but I finally was super successful to reach to the heart. So I believe in this kind of communication where I can, go straight into the heart and interact with people. My works are mostly based on, I am very good at drawing. As per the market or the art world says, but I think what I really love is communicate or interact with the people. So my work, I always think I do 50% as an artist or as somebody, and the 50% of my work is done by my viewer. So I always love engaging my viewer, my people, to become a part of my piece. No matter if it's a small piece of drawing or it's installation or a sound piece or video, whatever it is. So medium is not I like to do things I like to choose mediums according to that moment, kind of mood or temperament or accessibility and I think what Rajan and even Parvathi said about drawing is so wonderfully kind of explained. And I was thinking if I also I don't have a kind of definite explanation about drawings, but I can only say if it is something kind of pre-painting or kind of pre-think for something for the kind of end and some. Then I really believe in all these kind of pre things, because I can never ever reach to that extreme where I can be the perfect or So I love to run through my spontaneity and kind of my instinct, and it always works. Now I can't see. It's so. Well, I'll first show you some of my installations because they are drawing based, little drawings, and I love making atmosphere where my viewer can come and just feel themselves they are into a kind of interior and maybe they are home. So I'm a very good kind of if you come to my home, you'll see it's a really beautiful. You'll love it, So I love always kind of decorating home, yeah. And I always look for that home, and then I like to make home, and.
Mithu, you were also telling me that you don't see your drawings as individual, but that the whole gallery is
whole gallery,
one.
You give me a space, and I promise you I'll make it something, and the whole thing I always consider, if you call it art or whatever, if you call it life, this is it, what I can do in over a period of time.